Let's take a look at this case video. On board narrow road U-turn, it directly utilizes the vehicle's rear wheel sideways movement, turning the vehicle around 180 degrees. Then the vehicle drives forward. So how practical is this feature? Let's simulate it. When using this feature to make a U-turn, we need to steer early, getting the body as close as possible to the rear railing, then drive the front towards the opposite lane. This way, when the rear rotates with the front as the pivot, it won't hit the front railing, thus completing the entire maneuver. Whereas, if we operate a traditional vehicle, we cannot do this, because if we turn the first steering input, getting too close to the rear railing, then when we counter-steer to reverse, to create space for the front, the body will be pressed against the left railing, leaving us unable to steer left again to move forward. Therefore, we need to move the vehicle forward as much as possible initially. When steering left to go forward, get the front as close as possible to the front railing. This way, when we steer right to reverse, to create space for the front, our vehicle body will be sufficiently far from the left railing. So when the front cannot pass through, we just need to straighten the wheels and reverse a little, having enough lateral distance. We can also drive the vehicle through in one go. But this is thanks to the middle gap being relatively wide. If the middle gap becomes narrower, then even when making the U-turn, getting the front as close as possible to the front barrier and moving forward. When the front cannot pass, counter-steering to reverse similarly will bring the body quite close to the rear barrier. And then when we steer left again to move forward, the left barrier will interfere with our vehicle body. However, we can fully straighten the steering wheel, then reverse straight back, using the sideways shift to make several adjustments. So based on the current road width, we reversed the vehicle twice, shifted sideways twice, and also successfully turned the vehicle around. So how does the rear wheel translation feature perform in such a scenario? First, still need to hug the rear railing closely, then drive the front towards the opposite lane, since the gap is shorter now. The rear cannot directly rotate 180 degrees. But when rotated close to the front barrier, the vehicle's overall body remains relatively far from the rear barrier. Plus, the body's angle is also quite large. Therefore, it can still drive the vehicle through in one go. Finally, what do you think? Is this feature practical?